Hello, thank you for joining me today. If you like these videos, please let me know. I'm experimenting with different content I'm going to be putting out on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be putting little snapshots of that on my Instagram. Some different products that I'm making for people, both spiritually based products and emotionally based products, as well as therapeutic products. So if you are interested in learning more, please check out my YouTube channel, Delaney's Well, where you can find all kinds of things that I have created and dipped into in my life. And I'll also be offering medicine making videos on that channel, as well as some different practical things such as recipes and how-tos in the nutritional realm. So let's get to today's tarot. The first card that we have for today is the Page of Cups. So this is a mutable water energy. There's a solvent dissolving ability that happens in water, and so there's some aspect that we are possibly looking at ourselves that it's time to let go of or to work on and work with, so that we can raise to a different level of ourselves. This is definitely a dissolving of a lower nature to open a doorway to a higher nature of self. And what does it mean by to consider higher nature of oneself? Consider mutable water is intuitive sense. It's a knowledge that comes through a higher emotional intelligence. Emotions can be given a bad rap in our culture. Like we typically associate emotions as weakness or sorrow or all of these things, but there's also joy and there's excitement and there's hundreds of different emotions, and we actually evolved to be emotional beings by way of being mammals and having a limbic system and as part of our brain. So we are emotional, and so how do we actually use that awareness and that intelligence as a guidance in our life and as a way to actually connect with one another in community? So this is the opening card. We're looking at ourselves possibly in a different way, and we are looking at our own spiritual growth and our own spiritual nature, and that opens up a doorway for a new beginning as we let go of possibly behaviors or aspects of self conditioning in our own lives, and how we've responded to life by way of survival instinct. How can we let go of those things that actually prevent us from moving through the doorway? So the challenge that we have for today is the Nine of Pentacles. Nines are numerologically numbers of completion, and pentacles are material things and projects and things that we believe in. And so we may be facing some challenges completing something that's important to us, or a project that's been important to us. So we may have been looking at that for a long time, and consider that right now all of the planets in our system are moving forward. So we actually have a lot of energy moving us in the energy of moving forward, as opposed to like when Mercury is in retrograde at times, what kind of makes us pause and reconsider things. We're in an actively moving energy, right? And so if we feel like we want to get somewhere in life and we're not quite there yet, and we feel challenged in that, this is something that we're looking at inside of ourselves as like, okay, well, what are we doing? How can we actually make this happen? Now, the way that we get through the challenge is the Fool. The Fool is ruled by Uranus. This card, if you've been watching my channel or any of my readings in the last few weeks, even more, this card shows up a lot, and I think it's because Uranus is affecting all of our lives on a really profound level right now. This card is bringing up unexpected changes to outworn conditions that stand in the way of progress. So it brings new beginnings. It brings a breath of fresh air. In Kabbalah, it's ruled by the energy of Aleph, which is God's breath. So you see this figure, and they're joyously walking over a precipice, like they're walking into a new beginning, and they're letting their heart lead the way. So this is reminding us to do that. Like when change comes, you have to respond to your own heart. You have to respond to your own willingness to act and to see what comes forth in that situation. And ultimately, that is what shapes us and shapes our lives and enriches our lives with one another. Now, the overall energy that we have for today is the Four of Swords. So this is a deep ponderance. It can be the beginning of kind of being really, really identified mentally with thoughts and ideas and possibilities of, you know, what we're doing. In a traditional sense, this card means the long question. And we see this figure that's lying down in almost a stone type environment, right? It's all gray, and there's one sword that's lying in alignment with their spine beneath them as they're lying down, and then there's three swords that are framed on the wall behind them, and there's a little leaf that's growing in their hands, which are in a position of prayer, and it's growing out towards the light. And this symbolically is meaning, you know, we are influenced by nature. We just are influenced by conversations that we've had with people, communications, ideas that we're conditioned around, and like what life should look like and where we should be going in life. And, you know, people influence that, right? But this person is sitting in a position of deep ponderance. They're actually really looking inward at their own belief system. And when we consider the system of the tarot, the Ace of Swords is a sword of clarity, right? And the Three of Swords is a sword of worry. And so we have this kind of battle between these two energies with this card. And what I want to encourage you to consider, and I think that this combines with, you know, the energy of the Fool, is that there's a lot more potential beyond where you see limitation in the world. Our limitations can be our greatest hindrance when it comes to, like, or what we see as limitation is our greatest hindrance in the realm of possibility. So consider that, you know, there's this world that is full of energy, and in the evening it's a lot easier to see that energy as the sun begins to set, and you can start to see kind of like the pixelated colors and energies in the sky and in the air around you if you're in an environment that has limited distractions. And that's all energy, and that's all energy that comes into form in some way. So consider how you speak to yourself and how you speak to other people about what you actually want to create. And I encourage you to stitch into your words the intentional aspect of potential rather than limitation. And in this way, we can plant seeds in the universe in such a way that we're like, I want to see this happen in my life, and I'm not sure exactly what it looks like or how it's going to manifest, but I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing it and seeing how it manifests, because there's a lot more variety and options and paths and routes and avenues to getting to what you want than possibly what you see right now. So that is our reading for today. I did pull a card for additional clarity for that Four of Swords, and it came out as the Seven of Pentacles, which is a card that, you know, reminds us to look at the old fruits of our labors and where we've come so far, and reminds us that we are still working towards what we're trying to create and balancing that striving nature with the goal of being able to nurture and take care of ourselves. So I send you a good wish today. If you are interested in a personal tarot reading with me where we will look at the current astrological transits of your chart, please reach out to me at rootsofalchemy@gmail.com. You can also check out my services page on my website, rootsofalchemy.com. I send you so much love as we all navigate through these great big changes and stretch out of our old skin and into our new skin. I encourage you to plant seeds that will grow into fruits that will bring you joy and love in your life. Sending love to you. Mwah.